We told you yesterday that the judge in the Fani Willis decision about whether she should be removed, the entire DA's office removed from that trial in Atlanta, Fulton County, involving President Trump and about 15 others. And again, it's not just about removing her, it's removing the entire DA's office. Then a new DA would be appointed and could come in and try to continue the case, but they'd have to start from scratch or dismiss the case entirely. And things are continuing to get worse for Fani Willis and the special counsel she brought in, Nathan Wade, because initially Nathan Wade's former partner at his firm, who, remember, he took the stage initially, testified, but really claimed a lot of privilege. The judge of the case thought he was claiming too much privilege, Dad, so he brought him into the judge's chambers yesterday, and after that discussion is putting him back on the stand today.
So the point of the discussion was to determine if, in fact, what he was going to testify to was, in fact, privileged. If it's outside the scope of the representation, it's not. So that was what that in camera, when it was just the judge and him.
So basically the judge was able to tell him, these are the kind of questions you do have to answer. You're not violating privilege. You're not going to be in trouble as an attorney.
Right.
You need to give straight answers, whether it's yes or no, or that you don't know. But you can't just say privilege. I think.
But as a lawyer, you want a judge to tell you.
Yeah, and
you have to testify.
Especially because that was kind of happening, as we told you, that was happening very quickly that day. Remember, Fani Willis didn't have to burst into the courtroom and testify yet. Like she chose to do that. Then she was supposed to come back the next day, and her team is trying to claim, she
wisely decided she shouldn't do that.
Right. But now you have an extra hearing, plus it's more cross-examination, and then we know it's still an opportunity for closing statements. The question will be: does Fani Willis and Wade have to go back and have another time on the stand to counter this?
Well, Wade's going to be in the stand. I think he's going to be in there today.
Yeah,
I would suspect he's going to have to testify. Steve Sadow, Trump's lawyer, will cross-examine him, and it's a hostile cross, so you can ask leading questions. And he's going to have to correct things he said. He was under oath, so it is conceivable that the two people that are in real trouble in this are Fani Willis and Mr. Wade.
Yeah, and this is because, again,
if you lie to a judge under oath, that's a felony.
They were under oath when they said that they saw each other prior to the defense attorney said it started prior to the hiring. They said no, it didn't start until 2022. And then they've got these phone records and times and the 35 visits and the trips that they've taken together.
But this is different. They said that when the relationship started. Let's put all that aside.
He will have to answer.
Put all of that aside.
He'll have to answer that today because he knows.
Correct, because that's not going to be deemed privileged for whatever reason. So if it's not privileged, the real question becomes then, who was telling the truth? Well, the records tell the truth because of their records. Now, they don't pinpoint you to a house, but if you made a false statement under oath to a judge in a live court proceeding, that is a felony under Georgia law. So both of them, if this is what it turns out to be, could be the prosecutors could be charged with a felony. Here's the message. Don't prosecute ridiculous cases because you end up in trouble, prosecutor.
RICO together against
which was never a RICO case.
Right. And then bringing in someone with no experience, that's why initially people started investigating Wade himself.
Right.
He wasn't usually a DA would bring in a RICO expert, and he wasn't.
Right.
Never done one. I don't think he'd ever done a RICO case.
Correct.
So bringing him in, paying him that much money, and he's not a specialist, raised everyone's suspicions from the beginning. So it gave something for the defense teams to start looking at while this case was just getting started. So we're going to have that hearing this afternoon with Wade's former partner, and he was his divorce attorney as well, who mostly took the stand and claimed privilege, but now he knows what he's got to answer. That will be on camera probably this afternoon. And then you will see, again, do we see testimony again? Does Wade take the stand again? Does Willis take the stand again? We know that there's still closing arguments scheduled from the defense team and the prosecutorial team, and then ultimately a decision by the judge. That could come, again, I guess, by the end of this week. This is now in week 3 of this matter within the case. It has been a long time. And you've also, just to make it clear, people have this question as well. If this all got tossed,
yep.
If she gets removed from the case and the next DA comes and says, I'm not restarting this case, the election's about to happen, this is too much work to start with, and it was started so badly, starting from zero doesn't work because we're too far removed from the years this happened.
Right.
the people who did make plea agreements,
Yes.
what happens to
They will
them?
file motions to vacate the plea. Those will definitely be granted, and their records will be removed.
And if they did pay a financial penalty, or
They will
the
get it
process,
paid back.
And what about you said there is even potential for them to sue?
Maybe even prosecutorial misconduct.
See how far this goes with the again. It's no guarantees that that Fani Willis is being removed, but it certainly even the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which
the headline seems. I mean, look, we'll find out this afternoon that this is what you're going to find.
For it. The left is preparing for it.
Here's what you're going to find out. I mean, let's. Okay, you're going to find out that they made untruthful statements under oath during a trial while they were under oath in a criminal proceeding, where neither one of them were. She was not compelled to testify like that. There was still an open question. Right. She voluntarily did it. They both testified. Apparently, we'll see what it says. Now that the attorney-client issue is not there, that those misstatements were material. Material misstatements are felonies. So the people that could end up being in trouble in this, when it's all said and done, are the Miss Willis and Mr. Wade.
Wade's, who was the special counsel in the Fani Willis prosecution against Trump and the 15 or 16 others, that his former law partner had that meeting and now will have to go publicly and answer questions and not be able to claim privilege. And so one of those questions we know will be, when did their relationship start? So did they lie under oath about that last week? I don't know what he's going to say, but he didn't answer it last time. It doesn't mean that he's definitely going to go and contradict that. But if he does, batter down the hatches, because what else will he start contradicting? And he now knows from the judge what he has to answer and what he doesn't have to answer. So he's got that privilege issue handled. And I think that was actually smart of him as an attorney, because when you represent people, you wouldn't want your attorney necessarily going up there and just saying whatever about you when they've just represented you in a very personal manner in a divorce case. The question is, will we have more hearings on this? You could see the fact that Willis comes back to defend herself, or that you do that through attorneys or Wade as well, because they could be facing some serious problems, not just being removed from the case. Then you would get into the matter about whether there was prosecution or not. A DA, either a new DA or a new special counsel from the state. The bar of the state of Georgia could look into it as well. This could certainly affect their ability to practice law, depending on again, if they believe this is substantive enough. So and until you've heard get all the information, it's not looking good for them right now, Logan. But I always say, until you know, in these matters that could involve, I think the first win for President Trump here is not her being criminally prosecuted or losing her bar license. The first win is her whole office being removed, a new DA getting appointed, and having to say they have to start from scratch then, and them saying this is too close to the election. I don't think there's enough here, and then everybody, not just Donald Trump, is exonerated.
Yeah, the win isn't the personal life that you're going after. The end is this is a case that needs to be thrown out.
And it also is a sign to these other prosecutors that if you're going to bring these politically charged cases, there better be real issues. And you better not just be doing it to get a lot of attention, because when you do get a lot of attention, that means that the defense attorneys are going to do what they can to defend their clients from the charges you're filing against them and the way you're trying to destroy some of their lives.